Hi guys. So today I'm going to be telling you about the CIP summer internship that I did. I was an intern at McGee Corporation in Matthews, North Carolina. It is a company that builds gas station canopies and architectural metals for, different car dealerships and other offices and things like that. Very interesting company, not something that you would really think of initially. When my mom used to tell me all the time that that is what her company did, that's what they built, that's what they produced, I thought it was actually kind of stupid. And then when I started driving and actually pumping my own gas, I realized that pumping gas in the rain would suck. So doing it under a canopy, I'm actually very thankful for my mom's company that, they produce things like that, and other companies do that as well. So every day when I'd walk into the office, of course there was a side door. I actually really enjoyed walking in the front door so that I could talk with this woman. Her name is Maribel, and she is our receptionist. So a lot of the people in the office have direct lines. In fact, all of them do, except for me, but no one ever called me. So she really didn't have to do a lot of redirecting of phone calls, but there were a lot of people who did call the office to set up meetings and things like that. She was always there to greet them when they came in the office, and it was really nice to get to see her every morning. She's extremely sweet, and I loved getting to talk to her every day. This is Dana. She is in charge of quality control. So Dana has her own separate office inside the administrative part of the building, but she's actually out in the plant a lot, making sure that none of the men and women working out there are getting hurt, and that all of the products that we are creating are actually going to go to job sites and be safe to use, and they're going to work so we don't have to ship other things out there and waste time. So this is Tim, and he's in charge of IT. If you look closely at his computer, you can see that he's actually using a little bit of CAD software. Some of the guys that were in the CAD department said that they were having an issue. Tim said that he would take their software and see if he could tweak it a little bit, make it a little bit easier for them. I have no idea how he knows what he's doing at any given time. I've actually brought him my laptop a few times because that's been giving me some issues. He is a computer genius. This is Cheryl, and she's in accounting. This is actually my mom. As you can see to her right, which would be our left, she has a bunch of sticky notes on her wall. I actually like to go in there every day and add a little sticky note. Sometimes they were words of motivation. Other times they were, me picking on her and things like that. Just to kind of go over that, a lot of people in the office like to joke around. You'd think we would maintain a professional atmosphere, and we do for the most part, but there are a lot of times where, we do spend a lot of time in that building, and we get to know each other, and we really just like to mess around. And as you can see behind her, all of those boxes, those are actually boxes of files that I scanned over the summer and stored on our computer database for the entire company to view at any given time if they need it. This is Johnny, and he is in sales. Every time I would go in his office, he'd be on the phone. I don't know if he heard that I was coming or if someone would send him an email as a heads up, but he'd always be on the phone. I wasn't sure if he was talking to anyone. Really great guy. As he is in sales, he does have to actually be on the phone quite a bit, trying to lock in those deals and make sure that the company can continue to grow and continue to develop, more gas station canopies or more car dealership signs or things like that. This is Greg, and he is head of construction. As you can see, his desk is pretty much buried in papers at all times. I tried to help him organize as best I could. I ended up just giving him 3 folders, and I told him that past deals could go in one, current deals could go in another, and future deals could go in another. And then I also decided to take them one day when he was out, and I alphabetized them by state. When he came back, he said it's the little things that count. He actually really did appreciate that. So, everything goes noticed at this company, which I really did appreciate. This is David, and he is the sales manager. I've actually known him for several years. He's a great family friend. So when I went in his office to take his picture, he was trying extremely hard not to laugh. As the sales manager, he is managing every other salesman and making sure that they can fill their quotas and things like that. And then of course he too is also negotiating deals. This is Pam and Brittany, and they work in human resources. Pam really didn't want to have her picture taken, but I told her that it'd be helpful for my project if we could at least get her in the picture. And then Brittany was just going over some paperwork. We actually do accept temps from temp agencies. A lot of them work in the plant, and then a few of them will work in the office depending on their skill set, and she was just getting paperwork done for them. This is Jeffrey, and he too works in CAD. As you can see with his software, this is not something that any average person could do. It does take a lot of concentration and a lot of attention to detail. This is where they're designing exactly what metals need to be used and placed, and how they're sized, and angles and cuts and things that are extremely difficult to understand. This is Sharon, and she's in accounting as well. I actually took her picture from afar. My mom is her boss, and my mom said that she was actually about to start on the sales and use taxes for multiple different states, and she said that this is a very tedious process and that I shouldn't bother her, but Sharon did say that I could get her picture before she started this, so I just didn't want to run up to her and bother her. And then this is Sunshine. He was probably one of my favorite people to work with in the office. Once again, he was in CAD, so I wasn't in CAD much. I didn't really understand how the software worked in CAD, but I really appreciated getting to know him. I still don't know his real name. Everyone just calls him Sunshine because he is a very grumpy person, and he's definitely a ray of sunshine. It's kind of a joke. But yes, he works in CAD. He's actually the manager of CAD. If you just kind of leave him alone and let him do his thing, he is content. I don't want to say happy, but yeah. If you just leave him alone, let him do his thing, he'll be really happy. He actually is a friendly guy if you need him. I really did appreciate getting to work with him. He was probably one of the most fun people that I got to work with this summer. Loved to crack jokes on people. He too would like to go in my mom's office and decorate for me or with me, so that was pretty fun. And then these are two pictures of the plant. I'd say it's about a football and a half long. As you can see, there's different pallets, there's forklifts. The picture on the right, they're developing steel beams. So, this is what goes on in the plant. Of course, I was never really out there. I'd have to run a couple things out there every once in a while, maybe if I was helping Dana out. But other than that, I pretty much stayed in the office. This is, I don't want to say a dangerous area to work, but it's definitely not, working in an office and sitting at a desk. It is the manual labor, and it's definitely hotter during the summertime. These guys are the ones who are really putting in the man hours, the manual labor for developing the gas station canopies and other architectural metals. And other than that, those were my experiences at McGee Corporation this summer. As far as my learning objectives go, I would say that I like to bring in a young and fresh approach. With my young and fresh approach, it was really interesting. A lot of people at that company are kind of old-fashioned. They said that they didn't need to color code anything, or they didn't want their stuff scanned. They wanted physical papers that they could hold and flip through. But then when I actually just took it and I said, you know what, let's try something really fast. I want to see if I can scan it, make your life a little bit easier. When they were going through their computer systems and they saw how everything was scanned, they were like, wow, this is actually a lot easier. Like, Seth, you were right. Thank you very much. So my young and fresh approach actually worked. As far as communication skills, I made a lot of friends with adults in the office. I didn't think that I would, but I was highly surprised that I did. So I was a great communicator. Of course, I am a communication studies major, so that definitely helped. Like I said, with the keeping of files and just maintaining everything, that was very helpful for a lot of people, and that was definitely one of my learning objectives, to make sure that I stayed organized. Another thing was that I remained flexible. There were certain times, like when I went to the CAD department, when I honestly had no idea what I could do to help them, so they'd say, you know what, it's okay, go ahead to another department, and maybe we can use you another day. So I just remained flexible and open-minded, and I made sure that I could bounce around and really just help anyone. I was a true team player there, and it helped me remain professional because I wanted to make sure that, initially meeting someone in a new department, that I remained professional and that they knew exactly what I was doing and how I was the intern, and that I was there to help them and not really joke around until we got to know each other. And I also wanted to learn a bunch of new office strategies. This place, like I said, we do like to joke around from time to time, so it was kind of interesting to learn office strategies as far as keeping things organized and being punctual and professional. I definitely learned a unique approach to that. As far as my biggest challenge and biggest success, I would say my biggest challenge was probably one day when I was doing the construction board. I've written about this a couple times in my critical reflections, but I was doing my construction board, which is something that the salesmen use to find out where all of their jobs are, as well as the construction managers, and I was actually given the wrong information to make the board. It takes about an hour and a half to take all of the information off of paper and put it on this board, and I completely did it wrong. I was told by someone that it was completely wrong, and then when I looked back at it, I actually had the wrong information given to me. So that was a huge challenge for me to not like blow up or freak out. I did kind of beat myself up over it a little bit, but I fixed it very quickly. It was not a big deal, which was great. I'd say my biggest success was probably getting everything organized and getting everything to an online database. It doesn't sound like a big deal, but I was actually very happy that I did that because it made everyone else's life a lot easier. And honestly, they have industrial scanners, and those are actually, not gonna lie, they're pretty fun to use. And then as far as this internship and helping my career path, I have to say that I decided while I was doing this internship that I wanted to go to law school. So this internship really isn't helping me whatsoever with my future career, but at the same time, I will say that as part of the CIP program and having to create a LinkedIn profile, I actually did join a corporate attorney group, which is what I would like to do. So I guess this internship wasn't a complete waste of time because through this program, I did have to make my LinkedIn profile, and I joined some group that will actually benefit me for the future. All in all, I'll say that this is an extremely successful summer, and I was so happy to be an intern at McGee Corporation. I would love to come back for another summer. Unfortunately, because it isn't really with what I want to do, I'm not sure that it's the best idea, but all in all, it was an amazing summer, and I wouldn't trade this experience for the world.